Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Residents of Harsens Island dealing with this the best they can, walking to get groceries. Of course, they can't take their cars across. They should be able to later on today. Details next on Local 4.
Alyssa Slotkin is voting to impeach President Trump. So what is the high crime or misdemeanor, and is she worried she will lose re-election? I asked her both of those today.
All right, Jason, that's coming up. We're going to begin, though, with Detroit police investigating after a noose was found hanging inside the 11th precinct.
Thanks for being with us here for the news at 5. Police are acknowledging it was found hanging over the front desk of the 11th precinct.
That is on the city's far east side, Nevada, right near Mound. Priya Mann, live there right now with the latest information. Priya?
Well, Devin, Kim, the first thing that's important to note is that lobby right now closed to the general public because it's going through renovation. So anybody who wants to talk to police actually has to go to this command post, which is set up in the parking lot. But after this troubling object was found, Detroit police launched an investigation. Take a look. This is the object that was found in the lobby of the 11th precinct. Detroit police working to determine if it was a noose, an electrical wire, or something else. The lobby, of course, as I just mentioned, closed for renovations, not open to the public. On Friday, a general service worker was removing ceiling tiles from the lobby. They saw the loop or potential noose hanging from a rafter, and the object was left there. The next day, police officers saw it hanging from the rafters. One cop took a picture of it, posted it to social media. A supervisor then cut the object down, and Detroit police launched an investigation. Here's what the deputy chief had to say.
Immediately started an investigation to determine whether or not there was in fact a racial issue, whether in fact this was deliberate or if it was something else. We still are investigating this. We're not saying that there's nothing to it. We don't know what we have, but based on the fact that this particular incident occurred on Friday, this general service employee actually removed the ceiling and saw it himself. We do not believe that someone came into the building, which is manned 24/7, and put that up in the ceiling and then replaced the ceiling for it only to be found later.
Now, Detroit police are looking into whether potentially a disgruntled contractor left the object there after they were forced to move to a different site. And they were removed from this project after a Detroit police officer accused them of keying their car. Now, Detroit police do want to note this officer has claimed people have keyed their car in the past. So they are investigating these allegations. Right now, at this point, they do not believe the two are connected. Anyone with information, of course, has to call Detroit police. Again, they're investigating whether this was a noose or an electrical wire and how it was left there. Reporting live from the 11th precinct, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4. All
right, Priya. Now let's get to breaking news in the Warren de LaSalle hazing investigation. De LaSalle announcing its football coach is no longer with the school. They announced Mike Giannoni's departure in a statement that comes as news broke that the St. Clair County Prosecutor's Office is investigating alleged hazing, of course, in the de LaSalle football program. But we learned today 3 students filed a lawsuit against the school. More on that suit coming up on Local 4 News at 6.
It's been 5 long days for people living on Harsens Island, but tonight there's finally some good news. Less than an hour from now, the ferry will resume accepting cars and light trucks. And as our Jamie Edmonds shows us, the news can't come soon enough.
The parking lot here on the mainland still packed with cars. That's because residents of Harsens Island still can't get them across to their homes. That should change later on today, but they're all still very frustrated with the process.
Hi, Bill. Hi, Bill.
There was a steady stream of Harsens Island residents coming to and from Monday.
Thank you. Hi, Jane. Hey, babe.
Without their cars, of course.
You should have seen us yesterday. We had 2 huge suitcases, 4 backpacks, all the kids. It's been a lot.
Michael Crust needs medical attention. He really could use his vehicle today. Would this be the same situation if the ferry?
No, I'd be in my truck heading to Algonac.
It all started last week when the Champions Auto Ferry ran into the mainland dock, causing it to collapse. It's been 5 days and counting, and residents have been in the dark as to when and how it would be fixed.
It's completely, I don't know, preposterous.
Work was ongoing when we were there. The owner of Champion Ferry, David Bryson, declined to be interviewed, but told us service for cars and light trucks will resume tonight at 6 o'clock. Residents are hesitant.
After what just happened, I don't trust it the first time.
There is no oversight for a privately owned company. That goes for the timing and safety of this rebuild, as well as the proposed rate hike of $2 more per ride.
We're all just beside ourselves with the lack of oversight and influence we as citizens and residents of the island have to impact this at all. We have no voice.
And I talked to several residents who feel that exact same way. They had a meeting last night and they plan to have another meeting Wednesday morning. They've invited the governor, they've invited state representatives. What they want is oversight and regulation for the ferry, docks, and the fees. We're live tonight. Jamie Edmonds, Local 4.
So who oversees it now, if anybody?
Kimberly, I made so many calls today. I called the Coast Guard. I called the St. Clair County Emergency Operations Center. I called Clay Township. I did talk to the chief in Clay Township. He said all of these entities are sort of coming together to talk about this. But from what I can tell, as of right now, there's no oversight.
More to come. All right, Jamie, thanks.
We got a few glimpses of the sun today, which was a nice break after the snow and the clouds that we saw yesterday. Here's a live look right now from our Ann Arbor Skycam.
And now Ben's got some good news as we make our way through the work week. Hi, Ben.
Yeah, Kim, at least in the longer term part of this forecast, but in the short term, this map is all blue, and there's a reason for it. Look at these numbers. We're 34 right now. It's actually colder in Oklahoma City. Dallas is not far behind. It's 38 down there. They've got to be freaking out at that. But all that cold air is headed in this direction. In fact, we're going to see our numbers heading to single digits in some spots by the middle of this week. But it is not going to last long. On the other side, we're going to recover quite nicely and for a while. The rest of the evening, though, temperatures are falling out of the freezing mark into the 20s. Skies are going to be mostly cloudy, and we should be dry here for several days going forward. Of course, we've got Christmas coming up, so we'll look at our possibility of seeing snow before the 25th. Also, your travel weather and how warm those temperatures are going to get. We'll answer all those questions in just a few minutes, guys.
Okay, Ben. It is set to be a pivotal week in Washington as the full House is set to vote on impeaching President Trump.
And Democratic Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin announcing her decision in an op-ed for the Detroit Free Press this morning. She then held a contentious town hall meeting to talk about it with her constituents, and Jason Colthorpe was there. Got a little ugly at times, didn't it?
It really did, and a couple times, to be honest, it looked like it might come to blows with some people, and you'll see evidence of that in a moment. Remember, this has been a Republican district for many years until Slotkin flipped it last election, but there were a number of people there today letting her know that could change again from the moment she was introduced. In a room of more than 400 people filled mostly with her supporters, Alyssa Slotkin explained why she'll be voting to impeach the president. But she was often drowned out by about 15 vocal Trump supporters who booed and shouted.
He used that office for his own political gain, and that to me is a very, very important distinction, and that can't go unchecked. I just can't let that be normal.
Slotkin was interrupted several times as she tried to answer the most common questions her office gets about impeachment.
I was trying to answer the very things that they were complaining about or protesting about, but they were screaming so loud that they didn't actually hear the question. So I was like, hey guys, this is what you've been asking me about.
Guys, let's try to have a civil conversation.
Our congresswoman is failing us. She just, okay, you got a congresswoman that runs as an independent and falls into the swamp. And she's going to vote with them to impeach our president? That's how she falls? No.
There were several tense moments, and a few times people came nose to nose.
You need to learn that. You need to learn that.
It's that anger over this vote that Slotkin knows could cost her her job.
I am comfortable making a hard decision that's not popular when I know the security of the country is at stake. I would like to be reelected again. This is the greatest honor of my life, is to represent this district. But if I'm not, at least I can look myself in the mirror when I leave office.
You can see how contentious that was. We checked with the entire Michigan delegation today to see how they would be voting this week. Here's a look at where things stand. The ones who were undecided or didn't respond, which is a couple of Republicans, are likely going to fall along party lines given what they've said publicly in the past. But many waiting to see what Haley Stevens is going to do, because she, again, is in one of those districts that flipped. and a lot of people putting pressure on her to see what happens.
We all wonder, I think, how much arm wrestling is going on behind the scenes and how much wrangling. She didn't make it sound like she felt very pressured.
No, in fact, she said there was no pressure, and she took the weekend to decide on her own, but Democratic leaders haven't pressured her from either side of the aisle, and I think some of the whips have said that too. We're leaving all of our members to vote their conscience on this one.
Yeah. All right. Busy week coming up.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jason. Nick Monticelli has an important warning. Nick.
Dangerous, fast-moving, deadly. When fire ignites, seconds count. The Michigan State Fire Marshal's Office intentionally lighting things on fire to show you a brand new safety message. Why the materials in your home mean you have a lot less time to get out of a house fire.
All right, Nick, also it came out of nowhere, seemingly a massive explosion blowing up a vacant house on the west side of the state. No one seems to know what caused it. Evrod?
It's a new program giving juvenile offenders a second chance and preventing formal charges. I'm Evrod Kashmi. Coming up, I'll tell you who qualifies and how you can get involved.